Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akim. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth. All right, this is Nama of the DC camp. And, hey, this COVID-19 BS is still going on. It becomes more and more apparent as each day passes that there is an ulterior motive, and it's becoming clearer and clearer what that ulterior motive could be. All right, now this doctor is going to explain. I'm going to let about half of it play so you can get the full message that he's trying to get out without my interference. So wow, that's all I'm going to say. I mean, more and more of these come out. I try to get them out because, hey, this narrative that they push that we're all supposed to wear masks, that's going to stop the transmission, and it's BS. It's like taking sand and throwing it at a chain link fence. Well, what's going to happen? The same thing that these masks do. Absolutely nothing. In fact, as was said by several people, it might make it worse, and this could be what they're hoping for. That's what we've said also in the past. All right. So several ways to look at this, but I'm going to go ahead and let this play.
Chief epidemiologist, how are you doing? How are things going? He said, well, we're content with our results. Please extrapolate, they asked him. He says, well, our nursing homes weren't protected well. They're very large compared to our Nordic neighbor. They're very large. They had some hygiene issues. They had rampant 50 to 60% death rate came from those in the elderly centers. So if you decrease that, it's down to 2,500. And then Norway, which is right next door, is 5 million, half the size. They had much less death rate, but they also have
now
less
he's talking
immunity.
So hold on.
1 to 2% immunity
Talking
versus about 20% immunity. So
the elderly.
what happens during cold and flu when this starts up again? And you have a nation that has
Norway.
immunity and a nation that has no immunity. You don't have to be a scientist to know one nation is better prepared than the other. Also, they didn't have a free-falling economy. There's a public health, there's medical problems that arise when you shut down. People say it's just financial. Au contraire, I have to say to that. Let's talk about the 600% increase in suicide.
Suicides,
Let's talk about the spousal abuse. Let's talk about alcoholism. I have firsthand cases of suicide in my area. I have firsthand cases of people who are going into a bad depression. These are not just me. I've talked to ER physicians around the country that said public health crisis secondary to financial lockdown. This is not financial, this is medical. So you can't just say that it's a financial issue. And when I look at Norway and I say kids are in school, restaurants are open, economy is not in free fall, I think that is a sustainable model. When you ask Anders Tegnell, how are you guys doing? He goes, we're in a sustainable model. He goes, the U.S. pulled it back down to an unsustainable, impractical model that you can't do. We can do this for years. Can you?
And they want to shut down America again, which again, it seems a common theme here, if I were to kind of summarize, is that we've been deceived and we are continually being deceived. There seems to be a broader totalitarian agenda at play, and that there is a solution that actually no one wants to talk about. Right?
I think one thing that, the overall problem to this approach is we are, it's a strategy problem where we're locking down everyone. We want masks on everyone. And we're kind of forgetting that the fatality rate in children that go to schools, and people under 45, people under 60, is extremely low. This is not a universal strategy for everyone. There's no reason to destroy the youth's lives, to destroy the economy, to destroy businesses when this affects a small percentage of the population. That should be the focus, we made that mistake back in March with nursing homes. We didn't focus on the most vulnerable people. And that's, I think, what we're still doing is we're not focusing on the most vulnerable people. We're worried about the 22-year-old who's walking down the street without a mask on. That's who we're yelling at right now. Okay? And so this is a misdirection on appropriate resources and energy to focus on those older patients, those people that maybe should be on hydroxychloroquine, the ones that maybe should have guidance, the right guidance that's different from someone who is younger. And there's a total messaging problem, I think.
Into March, I realized that locking down.
You can watch that, the second one there. That's been out for a few days now. but he makes valid points also. But I want to focus on the first half of this, and that we all know by now it's all BS. All right, this is how you break down a society. They're playing on the fears of the people. Let me get some scriptures. The middle class is going to be all but erased. All right, all your mom and pops businesses, you can forget about that. All right, only thing left is going to be big corporate, big like the big box stores. You're going to have your Amazons, things of that nature. Anything basically below that, it's through. People have lost their livelihoods, but hey, this is a good thing. This is Psalms 10:3. All right, and this is King David. It says, the wicked, verse 2 actually, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined, okay? Because the poor is what? Israel. 3, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Most High Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. You see how this society, folly is held in great dignity in this society, all right? And people are looking at this place like, damn, we believed in this, his doctrine, his wine, his philosophy, democracy. We actually believed in this. Now they're mad, as the scriptures say. 5, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above. Out of his sight, as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. All right, and this is an arrogant, this American Edomite is wicked, stands out amongst all of them. All right, and yes, rightly so, because who runs this? Amalek. All right, this is Job. Let's see, 2, because this is what he's doing. This is Job chapter 2. I started 4. And Satan answered the Most High and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. 5, but put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And that's what, you can lose your job, you can lose your personal possessions, and people gonna freak out over that, no doubt. But when it comes to your person, all right, people are so on edge, they're so scared. He's using this. Think about 9/11, the fear game. This is Hebrews chapter 2, verse, let's see. Verse 15, and deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. All right, scriptures say what? He who, I'm paraphrasing, who save his life will end up losing it. All right, and vice versa. All right. So you got all these people here wearing, I've seen some masks like the fencing, like you've seen people at fence, with the, what do you call them? Like sword play type. They're not actually sword, I forget what you call them. But without the flap, the protective flap, I've seen people wearing that on the street. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Jogging with their their children, wearing in carriages, and they got a mask jogging down the street. I mean, people have just, and it's going to get worse. But again, all right, let's go to Psalms. Back in Psalms. I got to wrap this up. Let's see, 31. And let's go down to 18. It says, let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. Let's go into that contemptuously. Okay. Here it is. Let's see. Whoops. Let's see. touched something there I wasn't supposed to. Let's see. Strong's H 937. Bawaz, springing from evil. All right. Shame, despised, contempt. Of course, Esau has contempt for us. All right. There he is. All right. Let's get the next one. It's going to be Psalms 94 and 4. It says, how long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? Let's look at that. Hard things. Strong's H 6277. I fuck. Forward, bold, arrogant. All right. The Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans are more susceptible to the COVID-19 because of who they are. All right. Wow. It goes on in Strong's definitions in the sense of license, impudent, arrogancy, grievous, hard things, stiff. All right. To get the people, well, you got to do something about those Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Why, if it wasn't for them, all right, it says Psalm 64, verse 3 and 4, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Because they have no fear of the Most High. They think, actually, they're going to get away with this. Let's go to Psalms. I got to wrap it up. 40 and 14. And it says, let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backward and put to shame that wish me evil. All right. And it is shameful what's coming out on these devils. All right. All the atrocities they've committed about people that really were no threat to them. This is just something because it was in the power of their hands, like Micah chapter 2 goes into. Psalm 71 and 13, let them be confounded and consumed that are adversaries to my soul, and Esau Edom is. Let them be covered with reproach and dishonor that seek my hurt. And all this is coming up against them, all right? That's why they got to hurry up and make their move. Because whatever out there in space that's moving its way has got, amongst Esau Edom, plenty of tight sphincters now. All right, they're scared crapless. I'll try to be nice. All right, so with that, I got cut off. Kal halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Garokodash. Again, double honors go out to the Apostles' Great Millstone. I'll post a link to this. You can watch it, in its entirety. All right, and once again, we're out here trying to wake up the remaining hopefully elect. So with that, shalom.